Shemai Friendly Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Anwyn for anyone who's new here, and let's get back into building in Planet Zoo. And today we're going to be doing a moose habitat, but as you can see, the moose habitat's already there. I've had a meh building this habitat. Unfortunately, where I live experienced a power cut while I was building this, and I lost the footage. I hadn't really done much for this habitat really. It was about an hour's worth of work, which is not a lot when it comes to building habitats, but because of everything with the power being out for some time, I needed to mix around my uploads a little bit this week, which you've probably already noticed because this is coming up on Saturday. I was planning on doing something for Bonfire Night in the UK, which is on the 5th of November, and it's currently the 6th when this is going up, I think. So I needed to move this video from Wednesday, which it would have made a bit more sense with, up to Saturday, so I could put out the ending of Life is Strange True Colours on Wednesday. And if you only watch speed builds, you don't give a shit about this, but that's fine. But I just decided to leave the habitat how it was and just add extra things in. I'm still going to be doing something for Bonfire Night, because Bonfire Night, even though it's on the 5th of November, it tends to be like a weekend thing. And if you don't know what Bonfire Night is, Guy Fawkes Night. Guy Fawkes is a member of the gunpowder plot of 1605. Wow. And the gunpowder plot was an assassination attempt against King James I. And it's also the gunpowder plot, or the gunpowder treason plot. And Guy Fawkes was the one who stood by the barrels of gunpowder, and he was going to light the match. And I thought the moose, because they live in forested areas, would be perfect for a bonfire sort of habitat. So I've given them an autumnal forest, which we lost, and a little stream because they like water, and I thought the stream going into the forest would be really pretty. And then for the bonfire, I thought we would have a little clearing just outside the forest where people maybe created this bonfire and could possibly camp or something just outside of the forest. For the main structure of the bonfire, I used these broken trees. I obviously didn't want them to be exactly the same all the way around, so I moved them about, rotated them here, there and everywhere as well to give it a little bit of a variation. And because Bonfire Night happens so close to Halloween, I thought this would be a perfect habitat to put near the Halloween themed ones as well. So we've got the spooky swamp on the one side, and then just behind this we've got the ghost train. I loved the ghost train. That was so fun to build. Not that this wasn't, of course, but I really loved the ghost train. I'll put that in the iCards. For the bonfire, usually... How do I say this nicely? In less affluent parts of, I'd say the UK, it can't just be Wales. We'll create a bonfire for their little town, village. Usually these bonfires will have spare wooden objects that are no longer needed, and they will be thrown on top of logs and things like that. That's why I have the main structure as logs, but then I wanted to put some scrap wood pieces along the bonfire as well, because that's the kind of thing that I always saw with bonfires. It's not ideal, the community bonfires. They can get kind of dangerous, as all fires do. Bonfire night is a really dangerous night unless you leave it to the professionals, really. But I just wanted to put some scrap pieces of wood around, make it feel a little bit less just like a teepee of wood. And I had a lot of fun trying to find some scrap pieces of wood that wouldn't create toxic fumes. Because some things I was like, oh, maybe that shouldn't be burnt, even though technically it's not going to be burnt at all. The pallets from the Australia pack was so helpful. That is something that you would always see on bonfires, no matter kind of where they were created, because you get pallets in businesses, like when you go to a bonfire from a rugby club. I love how niche that is. But yeah, like it feels more real to me putting all of those random objects stacked here, there and everywhere on the bonfire itself. And I was sort of thinking maybe I could make this a hard shelter for the moose, but because a bonfire is meant to be set alight, it didn't seem right to give that as hard shelter to encourage the animals to go in it. And for my Guy Fawkes, we have a tradition in the UK which is penny for the guy. So we'll create a scarecrow person out of an old t-shirt, something like that, and usually like children, teenagers will create this and take it just outside like a local shop and say penny for the guy. So they could originally have enough money for fireworks, but that is not a thing anymore. You need to be 18 for fireworks. Now it's probably just for sweets or something. But I'm using the scarecrow. I want to say it's by Kay Holland, but if it's not, I'm sorry. But I wanted to change the scarecrow a little bit. So I sat the scarecrow down, because that's usually what happens with the penny for the guy. And usually after you've used the guy for the pennies, you would then put him on the bonfire at the end, which seems a little iffy, but that's why I sat him just next to the bonfire. And Guy Fawkes, like images of penny for the guys and Guy Fawkes sort of costumes, it's usually like the anonymous face. Oh, what is it? Like those hackers. That's what it reminds me of. They've got like the goatee and the mustache and a pilgrim hat. Is that what they're called? So I wanted to dress up my scarecrow as Guy, so it looks a little bit more like the penny for the guy. I'm also using a few of the tents to make it look like people have come to this forest area to camp and stay, and that's where they've like made their bonfire. I just wanted a little bit of evidence of humans, maybe something like that. So you got like the natural part with like the little meadow inside this autumnal forest, but then we've got like this clearing right by where the viewing area is for the habitat. So I wanted a nice big sign for the Bonfire Night celebration, but also adding in something to do with the moose, because the moose's habitat, other than the forest, is not really catered towards them. It's just catered towards whatever I wanted to do. So I used the new moose sign because it's just so cute. I love that. And I just thought the guests could then stand by the moose and by the penny for the guy sign, and you could see the guy then next to the bonfire through the viewing window. That'd be a nice like selfie picture point for the guests as well. But yeah, we've gone past the typical holidays for autumn now, so we're gonna have to get in and try and find some more themes for the rest of the autumnal habitats. I am gonna carry on doing autumn for a little bit in November at least, so you'll have to let me know whether you have any ideas, what kind of habitats I should build, and what animals should I build for. Now on to the food trucks. Usually with Bonfire Night, like I said, you would go to maybe a rugby club or a castle. Pretty much every castle in Wales has a fireworks display. I know Cardiff Castle does. When you go to a fireworks display, you usually get like burgers from a burger van. Yeah, like a food truck type of thing. So that's what I wanted to build for our facilities for the guests up in this area. I thought the food truck would be great for something to go with the Bonfire Night thing, but it also goes really well with the fairground ghost train ride, which these food trucks are going to be set just in between the moose habitat with the Bonfire Night theme and just in front of the ghost train. So I thought they would work really perfectly together and have these just in the centre to fill out that little gap. I thought I would go with the colour scheme on the signs. So had to pick the classic Chief Beef. That is like the most iconic food shop in these like Planet games, because Chief Beef's in Planet Coaster too. It did make me kind of want a colour picker in the game, because I wanted the classic colours from the sign. And usually in things like Photoshop, you can hold the Alt key to grab a colour from an image if you're like painting or you want a certain colour from an image. It would be really good to have something like that instead of having the like rainbow that you have and then you've got the colour wheel type thing. It would have been nice to have something that you could just grab a colour from the sign itself. But I think I colour matched relatively okay. And for the wheels of the food truck burger van, I used the African beads, ring beads, and then merged a lot of the safari truck wheels together to give the wheel itself a thicker tyre around it. And from a distance you can't really see that they've merged in lots together, so I think this works okay as a wheel for the food truck, and it kind of makes it a little bit more proportionate as well, because some of the wheels, or like the original just one wheel, was a little too small. And I did do a little bit off camera, but I thought with like burger vans and stuff, food trucks, there's usually lots of advertisements for the business, so I'm using the signs as stickers, artwork for the van. And I wanted the menu to be on the side of the van as well, like what you would normally have on a food truck. It would tell you what was on the menu. So I actually looked on the shop itself, like in the shop itself, for what the shops in-game sell. And I think I added one extra one on this that wasn't on the menu, but I do have on the signs Chief Burger and Chief Burger XL. And then I've just put cheeseburger so I could have another thing to fit underneath the window. Did skip past changing like the front bonnet of the van. I gave it a little bit of an angle because it was looking like Postman Pat's van. A little bit. I angled the bonnet down a little bit and put some lights at the front. Ooh, there's fireworks going off now. My poor dog. My poor audio. Sorry if you hear popping. It is nothing untoward, just some sparkly things in the sky. Oh, and I put a little grill at the front as well, with some like metal fencing, and I was just trying to make it stop being Postman Pat's van. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know whether Postman Pat's only like a UK thing, but Postman Pat was a postman with a black and white cat, and he had a red van, which now I think about it, is probably the Royal Mail van. So I thought maybe I would do like a marquee sign. These were all the rage at one point. They were all over like everyone's YouTube backdrops. So that's kind of why I have the C and the A there. I don't know. But that's where I was kind of going with this, with like the marquee style lettering. So I used the big letters, the big 3D letters. I don't think I've ever fully used these properly before. And then I used the New World tube light. But I really like this. I like the effect it gives as well. Again, it looks nice and bright in the nighttime, and you can't really see the little lit circles in the day. It blends in nicely with the white. I was trying to debate on what shops I wanted to add into these vans. They're not all going to be blue and red either. And to help me decide, I was looking at the different signs. And I really liked the sign for Pipshot juice for the drinks, because I like the colour scheme. And I didn't want to do a merchandise type food truck. Didn't make sense. Still needed something food related. And when you go to a fairground, as I mentioned, I think in the ghost train video, there's usually like fried foods, which is definitely a thing in America as well. When you go to county fairs, is that what you call them? I don't know, but they would be fried foods. So for the third one, I picked the donut shop. I thought that would be perfect for a fairground type food truck. And for this food truck, I was tempted to make it baby pink, like that light pink colour on the donut. But usually like the donut itself, the main colour of the donut is that beige brown donut colour. And then the icing, the like topping, is pink. So the main van is the donut colour and the accent colour is the frosting on top, which is the pink. And it's just super cute. I love it so much. And I also played around with trying to get the pathways to look similar to what they would look on an actual food truck, which you would have like a little set of steps to go up to get to the window in the food truck. And that is in the pathway settings. You can play around with the elevated length of the pathway to have these really short steps like I put here. But I love it! Those food trucks are so fun! I love the bonfire as well. And poor Penny for the Guy, poor Guy Fawkes sat by the bonfire. I'm sorry about all of the faff with this one. Hopefully you'll get back on track next week. I am dropping my uploads now because I've finished Life is Strange True Colours. Check it out on my channel if you want to. No spoilers, but I don't think I fucked up too much. Fucked up a bit, mind, but that makes it more fun, right? And I'm not sure whether we're going to do Planet Zoo Wednesdays like we have been doing, or put Planet Zoo on to Saturdays because that's when this is going up. And Wednesdays, for now, we'll be playing the Life is Strange True Colours DLC, Steph's Wavelengths. Do you have a holiday where you set off fireworks or go to fireworks displays, kind of like 4th of July? Are there any other holidays like that? Let me know in the comments. Or do you celebrate Bonfire Night? Do you go to fireworks displays? Have you made a Guy Fawkes and done Penny for the Guy? I never did, but that's because I never had friends when I was a kid and I didn't like leaving my house. So not much has changed. I'm going to leave it off there though. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, and if you haven't already and you would like to, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you had a wonderful bonfire night if you celebrate, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!